moving on now to the team that we talked about, Texas earlier. Previously, Sean Miller was at Xavier, who then decided, okay, Sean Miller's out. We're going to poach Richard Pitino from New Mexico. And he's been very, very busy over the past couple of weeks. And as they have picked up 7 of the top 200 players on our big board here, top 300 players, I should say, 7 out of the top 300 on our big board. A nice mix of talent for Coach Pitino. Gabriel Posado is going to grab a lot of headlines in this class, Mike. Trey Carroll also bringing a ton of experience. One of the best names in the game, all right? He's going to be, but it's not just a gimmick. He's got the game to back up the name. And then, this is, like you said, basically 7 of the top 300 on the big board. A big class for Coach Richard Pitino. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm intrigued. Johnny K's jumping in here. Done a nice job in a short time. Yeah, I think he has. Going to be strange to have him in versus the Pops. That's going to be cool to see. I love it. So here's where I'm at. Like, first 2 things that stand out, the shooting and the size. But here's the thing. Recently, that really hasn't been Pitino's thing. So we know he likes to get up and down. He's been top 25 in tempo during his 4 years at New Mexico. Now, as teams in New Mexico, they didn't shoot a lot of threes. Like, he typically wanted to get out in transition, put pressure on the rim, and half-court sets. Donovan Dent was there. The roster that he putting together doesn't really have that vibe. It's going to be interesting to see how he kind of adapts. Does he go more to, like, his Minnesota roots? When he was the head coach of Minnesota, they didn't play as fast. They were really, really big. They were top 50 in average height his final 3 years there. And that's kind of what we have. We kind of got this weird mix of, like, a lot of size and a lot of shooting. You mentioned Posado here, like one of the most impressive freshmen people didn't really hear about. Like, he's probably got the most upside of the group, but I'm not really sure that we see a huge jump from him making the move to the Big East. He is a kid, though, at 6'7", that's going to create some matchup problems for defenses. I just worry about the efficiency. You got these 2 bigs, Anthony Robinson. He flashed some promise last year at Virginia during his freshman year. You got Papi Njai. He did kind of the same at UNLV, a 10% shot blocking rate. Like, these are guys that are going to be rim protectors, rebounders. You don't expect much of them offensively. At that 4 spot, you got Trey Carroll, you mentioned, and Philip Borovikinen, who's following Pitino over from New Mexico. But Carroll in particular, like, he's such an underrated player. He can score inside and out. He's a factor defensively. Borovikinen is more of like your floor spacer. He knows Pitino's system, going to provide some of that leadership, make it a little bit easier for these guys transitioning. And then you got these mid-major guards, Malik Moore, and then Allwright. They're kind of like microwaves out of the mid-major level. Moore's an elite three-point shooter, just kind of a solid overall guard. Wright had a really good freshman year. He's wired to score, but still, man, I worry about the transition. You're moving a lot of these guys from the mid-major ranks to the Big East. So, we got UConn, Creighton, St. John's. Like, it's not going to – Providence looks a lot better. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a grind here for Pitino in year 1.
Off the top of your head, can you think of another school in this point whose class is more of a mixture of these mid-majors, these guys on the come-up, a larger mixture than this group for Coach Pitino? I can't think of one off the top of my head where there's just this many guys that are going to have to step it up in a big-time fashion and a big-time conference on a night-in and night-out basis. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, a lot of respect for Coach Richard Pitino and what he's done and what he'll probably continue to do.